Welcome back to Padel on Tour, the series where we take a closer look at the growth of padel around the world. My name is Filip Björne. This time we're traveling through Sweden, the largest Nordic country with about 10 million people. Padel came to Sweden in 1998 when the first court was built by Tommy Andersson in Boston. But the past few years padel has exploded like never before, going from roughly 500 courts in 2019 to over 3,000 courts 2 years later. Our first stop on this Swedish tour, we're going to Stockholm and Ladap's facilities. Here we're meeting up with Emmie Ekdahl, a former elite player who is currently building a padel community for women.
I started a project in April 2022 because I really wanted to get more girls involved into the sport of padel. So that was the purpose of the She Plays from the beginning.
And you have played on the elite level here in Sweden. Why is this project so important for you?
Yeah, because when I started to play, it's like the men's classes was so big and the girls was so much less people competing. So the goal was really to get the girls to feel more comfortable to go out and compete, and also to get to know more players as well around Sweden, because in the beginning you don't have that much people that you know, you don't have that big network. So this is also a way for players to get to know more players.
I used to say that padel is so much included. Like everyone can play, girls, men, elderly people, and very young people also. Why do you think it's so much overrepresentation from the men's side?
It also feels like the guys get started very easy. They want to compete, and often girls want to know before they start to play. They want to go on trainings and so on. So I think it takes a little bit longer for the girls to feel comfortable coming to the club, am I good enough? So I want to really break that barrier to feel like, of course you're good enough,
You have played on a very top level here in Sweden, and how important would you say that having a role model as a woman?
It's very important because it's also you recognize yourself in a different way, and also you connect often much easier with another female, and you feel more confident and comfortable to telling things and different situations. Maybe you feel a little bit tough and so on. So for me, I really think it made a lot of difference to have a role model and a female coach when I started to play.
And a little bit more concrete, what's She Plays about? Like, do you training together, or what are you doing?
Yeah, so it's different type of events. So we have a lot of social events where we start with some training, precision exercise. We have different topics on each training. And then, because of course you always want to develop your padel skills. Yeah. And then we have some match play with feedback, so you also have the opportunity to train the different things that I've been working with. And then we always have a social part after, because when you start you don't know that many players. So it's hard to find 3 other players that you can play with. So this is also a way of connecting with new players and meeting new people. And then also this year we're going to start a She Plays league. So we're going to have 4 competitions and then a master final. It's a good first step to start competing, Yeah.
How do you see padel in general here in Sweden right now?
Still, the sport is growing. Many think that the sport has decreased, but it's not true. If you see the numbers, it's more and more players starting to play, so it still is a growing sport. So now it's more to stable out the market, because there's been so many venues building at the same time. So still the sport is growing. You can see that more and more younger players is coming from under. So a lot of things is happening with the sport, and of course it's a very new sport, so it's still developing.
We're leaving Stockholm and heading our way southwest and to Sweden's second largest city, Gothenburg. Åby in the outskirts of Gothenburg is a location for every padel arena with 25 indoor courts. Here we're going to meet up with the elite padel player Johan Fors to talk about how to build a successful league for amateurs.
We have 30 divisions for league play, with 8 teams in every division. So we were very happy about that, and the level is also very high for the league. And I think that's kind of unique when it comes to to paddle facilities.
That's really impressive. Like so many teams, so many players. How do you organize everything?
Yeah, it can be a headache sometimes, for sure. But you know, it's all about good communication. You know, if you reply to all the emails fast and keep everyone happy, it's so much fun. It is.
And what would you say like is the key to have so much players in your league here?
We tried a few things, but I think the main key is to have a high level at the top. Like you have good players. Here we have, you know, maybe 5-6 players or teams that are ranked, you know, among the top 20 teams in the nation. So if you have that, all the other divisions gonna follow, of course.
And you have both men's leagues and women's?
We do. We have 20 divisions for men's, and then 10 divisions for women. And then, you know, some mixed divisions.
And you're a top player here in Sweden also. What do you think about the paddle in Sweden in general?
It's becoming better every day, I would say. I play on the Swedish Padel Tour, and I can see on every tournament the level is keep raising. And you can see the Spaniards who came here, you know, a couple of years ago, they won easy. Yeah. Now they almost don't win at all. So I think it's a good sign Swedish players are getting better.
And what do you think about the future? You train a lot of kids here and such things also? Or?
Yeah, of course. Yeah, I hope the level of the kids. Yeah. I mean, the most important thing is that they're gonna enjoy it and have fun. Yeah. But if they're good coaches and the younger generation raise their level, I mean, I don't see any stop.
So you think like in the future we see Sweden among Spain? In Spain we have like academies, so much coaches that are on top level who educate kids and everything in paddle. Not starting with tennis, begin with paddle. What can you say about it in Sweden?
I think that's one of the main problems, that the good coaches in Sweden, they are coaching, you know, adults, maybe already advanced players. But if the good coaches can start to coach the younger generation, the kids, I think we're going to see a rapid development amongst the kids as well.
Not far from every paddle in Åby we find Mölndal Padel, a smaller venue that have focused a lot on different activities around paddle.
So here right now we have a lunch Mexicano, and we have lunch Mexicano every day. Now we have 4 courts that's going on, and it's different from every day. Some day we have women and some day we have beginners, and now it's mixed up with both men and women. So.
And you told me before you have some after work paddle activities also.
Yeah, exactly.
More breakfast paddle also?
Exactly. We have couple of different ones every day. We're trying new things all the time. What's really good and what we actually been starting right now, it's Mexicano. Yeah. So basically that Mexicano, but you play with a couple and you're a woman and a guy together playing. So, and that's a really good thing that's we actually been working on for quite a long time. And yeah, the breakfast paddle as well, 6:30 to 8 to those ones who up really early in the morning. And yeah, after work paddle as well. That one is on Fridays. And yeah, we're taking up some sweets, some chips, and like having good music on. And it's yeah, just to get like a Friday feeling in a way. We're trying to not focus on just the paddle. We're trying to be working with the social thing as well.
I do this weekly because I think it's a really good activity here. A lot of people, a lot of good spirits, and it's nice.
Yeah, it's a lot of regulars here. Or...
Yeah. Mostly, it feels like I know them more than my family. Yeah. It is like a family almost.
Yeah. How come you choose this club and this activities? And...
I just came here randomly. Actually, I just saw the activities in the app, and then I just attended, and I realized that it was the perfect kind of activity that I like. I don't have to like find 3 others. I just come here myself, and I I don't have to do much planning. That's what I thought was bad in the beginning. I had to do so much planning, but now it's just come here.
How important is the social part for you?
I think it's really important. That's why you keep attending. I mean, if I didn't like the guys here, I would not come back.
No.
I think it's part of it. Like last week I lost. Now, you know, I want to come back, I want to win this time. And we have this rivalry between us.
Leaving Gothenburg behind, we'll keep going south to Helsingborg, where we meet with one of Sweden's foremost trainers, Andreas Johansson.
The first indoor club in Sweden was here in Helsingborg. It was 2011, and then a few years after, the club where I am now, Padel Crew, they started. So, and they are just like 3 minutes away from each other. So already there, they had to be very clear on the concepts and so on. So it has been interesting to follow, and it's soon 10 years. I mean, for me, because I started 2013. Now we are here, and in the end, I'm really humble about that. Players are actually moving to Helsingborg to be here, to spend time on court with me, and to be a part of the team. And it's growing. So at the moment, I have 10 professional players or semi-professional players.
Could you imagine this like 8 years ago?
That it will happen, yes, but maybe not that I am like in the center of it, because the trend just a few years ago was definitely to move to Spain, and they did, some of the players, but one by one they start to have the base again in Sweden, because we're different, and I think in the end there's only one thing that we not can do in Sweden, and it's the sparring part, the volume of play, and the possibility to choose to play against many different players. That's the only thing that we don't have here when it comes to like a proper professional project. Just the fitness part, I think we are better. Definitely nutrition, and also we can work with the mental aspects here as good as in Spain, but I think we take it more serious here. And then as a Swede, normally you're very structured, planned, and you will not get that in Spain as it is now. I also see tendencies that it starts to change also there, but I think the Swedes that has tried to live in Spain, they miss this part from Sweden, to, you know, the structure and have everything in place, get your schedule in time, that the coach shows up in time, all this basic stuff. So
what's the key for the Swedish paddle to grow?
To give the upcoming players, the younger players, the possibility to play to start with. I mean, we talk about in football, you take one ball and you're 3 friends and you can be on the street doing all the stuff that you need to do and just play and have fun. It's tough to get in as it was. Now I see it's different, because now the courts are more and more empty and free. So just open up and let the kids play. That's an important part. And then we need club managers, owners that want this to happen. Because if you don't want that to happen, it will not happen. Because from these kids, talking business, you will not get the money, but you will grow the sport, you will develop the sport. So that's one thing. And then education. Coaches, other type of leaders around them that knows about sports in general, but yeah, of course, paddle in the end, but education.
Where is Sweden there, like, to educate coaches?
I think we are not looking enough on the good ones, like in Spain. We have to do it in our way, for sure, but there are parts that we don't need to, or we can't, like, discover ourselves again, because paddle will not change. And I see many places is the local heroes, as I call them, and they go in and they teach everyone that this is paddle because I win the Division 1, but they have no clue in the end. To be really straightforward, they have no clue. So it's tricky, and the key for me is to collaborate, to lower the guard. Don't care if you play for that club, or for Padel United or PDL or every paddle, all these. Just work together to grow the sport and put all the good ones together, and we will be even better.
When do you think Sweden can beat Spain, for example? Or compete like for real?
I like this one. It will happen the same day as Spain can beat Sweden in ice hockey.
Yeah, okay. All right.
Because to compete against Spain, we need more than one and more than two.
Yeah.
We need 8 true soldiers. So Spain is tough, but let's have a look at the nations just behind.
Yeah.
Before Portugal, maybe it's a good one to try to beat in the near future.
From Andreas' favorite lunch spot, we head to Padel Crew, also known as the Cathedral, that has Sweden's most developed academy for padel. Vamos!
The paddle in Helsingborg has been here for longer than in many other cities in Sweden. This place has been around since 2015, but I think the first paddle court in Helsingborg was actually built in 2012 or something like that.
You have a lot of elite players like Daniel Windahl, Simon Vasquez, Albin Olsson training here with Andreas Johansson.
Yeah.
How important is that for the paddle in general, do you think?
I mean, obviously these players are idolized by the kids who's in our academy. So for that reason, I think it's a good motivation for the kids to look up for the players and see. They see these players train here, come here every day, practice really hard. Not only on court, but off court in the gym as well. So the young players can see what it takes to become one of the best. In that aspect, I think it's important. But also for the place and the club in general. I mean, it puts some kind of glow maybe to the place. And with having the elites as well as having the amateurs, we have a place that is for everyone, and that's what Padel Crew is about for us.
Talking about Daniel Windahl, Simon Vasquez and so on, how's the next generation of paddle players?
The next generation of Swedish paddle players looks very bright. I mean, we have many of them here in our academy, and I never stop to get amazed and impressed how good paddle player they are, and we're very happy to have them here at our place. In this new area, we have all of the group trainings and the academy trainings are in this area. Yeah. So the coaches are very happy obviously because of the noise. So if you are on court for like 5 hours, then you're happy to have these noise cancelling curtains.
So how many courts do you have?
We have 38 courts. Out of those 38, yeah, it's amazing. It's pretty cool to have 38 courts. 38 courts gives you a lot of opportunities to arrange cool stuffs. So we had this Toyota Padel Alto. We were the host of 600 players. Yeah. We have had the world's largest Americano. So big amounts of courts gives you big amounts of opportunities. So that's how we see it.
Our last stop is in the very south of Sweden at the Ystad Racket Club, a smaller club with a big focus on their league and weekly activities. You have a lot of kids training here?
Yeah, we have a club now since a year ago, Ystad Racket Club. Maybe we have around 40-50 kids in training right now, and more adults also. So we try to provide that for everyone who wants to get better in the sport. And
it's good for the future.
Yeah, exactly.
The next generation, right?
Exactly. To think a bit longer and not just right now. So a lot of things for the younger ones also. The Padel Club started with Ystad Tennis Club, our sister club next door. So we can learn a lot from them. They're a big tennis club and very good at the competition part of it. So.
How important is that exchange between padel and tennis?
I think the sports can learn a lot from each other. Yeah. I mean, it can almost be pretty different sometimes. But I think padel needs to be more like the club feeling from the tennis and the training part and stuff like that. And the tennis can learn to be bit more social things like we're good at in padel. So
it's a
perfect combination to help each other and get the best from both worlds. Yeah. We have like 11 divisions right now, men and women and mixed teams and things like that. So we have a restaurant, so it's good to combine the things.
Vamos restaurant.
Yeah, perfect name. Yeah. So yeah, some activities with paddle and lunch, and Friday evening with taco kväll and after the paddle. So
That's perfect.
Good combination.
Taco and paddle.
yeah, can't be better.
Yeah.
Good Friday night.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's everything you need. The explosion of paddle in Sweden has been huge, and the whole paddle world is talking about Sweden's success. But to find a balance, club owners have found ways to provide activities for both young and old players. Paddle in Sweden will develop more and more with time, and we are just at the beginning.